Hi there, it's Rory from 10 Lost Tribes, and today we're continuing on our Ascent of the Bride series. We're now at part 8 and we're looking at Psalm 123. So just as a recap, in the first song of Ascent, Psalm 120, the bride was surrounded by liars and she found herself in tribulation. So that's the beginning of the tribulation for the bride. In Psalm 121, she is headed out of Dodge. She's headed out of town. She's looking unto the hills because she's amongst the hills. She's going upwards. And then in Psalm 122, she continues her journey upwards spiritually. She's looking to Jerusalem. And we looked at the role of Jerusalem, both the earthly Jerusalem and where she is at, and where the heavenly Jerusalem is at in Psalm 122 and Psalm 48. Now, in this Song of Ascent, the fourth Song of Ascent, Psalm 123, the bride is humble and acknowledges her place as a servant under a master and as a maid under a mistress. So this is a humble acknowledgement and a plea for mercy. So, Psalm 123 verse 1, a song of degrees, Shir Hamalot. Unto thee lift I up mine eyes, O thou that dwellest whereabouts? In the heavens. Now, in Psalm 121, she was lifting up her eyes to the hills and she was wondering where her help comes. And then she remembered her help comes from the Lord. All those years at Sunday school finally paying off. But here she knows where her help is coming from. She knows where to cast her eyes. She's directly looking to the one that dwells in the heavens. And she's lifting up her eyes. Now, the eyes are really important because where we put our eyes, that's where we soon find ourselves being. If we look with our eyes upon the waves, then we will sink under the water. If we lift up our eyes to the heavens, if we look to Yeshua, then we will find Yeshua. When Eve looked with her eyes at the fruit of the knowledge of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, she saw that it was good to her eyes. So we need to be careful where we place our eyes. Behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of the maiden unto the hand of her mistress, and I've broken this verse into two halves. So let's talk about the eyes. The eyes of servants. Well, all of Israel is God's servant. The prophets are God's servants. And the 144,000 are God's servants. So as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and the 144,000 look to Yeshua, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress, so she understands where she fits, that she has a Lord, that she has someone that she can cast her eyes to, and that is Yeshua. So the eyes are all related to Eden. They're all related to the bride. So our eyes wait upon the Lord our God, until that he have mercy upon us. And the Lord is going to stoop down from heaven and look upon his bride. If there are some that are already in heaven through rapture, those that are on earth are still part of his bride at this stage, but they're on a trek, they're on a journey. So this psalm mentions the eyes a lot. Again, this harkens back to Eden, because Eve looked with her eyes. It was the cause of all of our troubles, was where we were casting our eyes, to our own wisdom or to the wisdom of God. Now, there are two books in the Bible that are named after women. One was an Israelite and one was a Gentile. Both were humble. Both were loved of the Lord. both found favour in the eyes of the Lord. And Queen Esther found favour before the eyes of her king, a pagan king, but this whole story is a picture of the bride and the Messiah. So we need to have an attitude of humility and brokenness if we are to serve the Lord, if we are to know the Lord, if we are to be saved. Now, this psalm is all about a cry for mercy. So, behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress, so our eyes wait upon the Lord our God, until that he have mercy upon us. I remember the cherubim had wheels within wheels, and they were covered with eyes. So God sees us. God sees us. He knows our name. He knows what we've been through. He knows what we're going to go through. And he will bring us through as we put our eyes upon him. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, have mercy upon us, for we are exceedingly filled with contempt. So, this is the state before the bride leaves, and maybe even as she is leaving Babylon, because there are others that are not feeling what she is feeling. Why are they not feeling it? Because they are proud and they are at ease. Our soul is exceedingly filled with scorning of those that are at ease, with the contempt of the proud. So the wicked are at ease. Just imagine the time of the Holocaust, and you're a Jewish person in Germany. Now, Germany was about to go to war. Nazi Germany. I don't want to, tar all Germans with this, but Nazi Germany was about to go to war. But while the population was at ease and feeling quite good, the general population of Germany, those that were Jewish had stars on their clothing. They had their businesses sacked, and they were at the contempt of the proud. Well, this is a similar time. And sadly, some of those that are proud will be fellow Christians or Messianic people. See, God is making a division between the bride and the whore, between those that are truly his and those that aren't. And those that are not truly his are at this moment at ease. They're proud. So, through this, the bride is still ascending. Through all of this, she's beginning to get her eyes on the Lord. And she's beginning to cry out to him like Queen Esther for mercy. She is beginning to find favour with the Lord, like Ruth did with Boaz as her kinsman redeemer. He is a picture of Yeshua. So that is a very short psalm, but this is a pivotal psalm as the bride is really beginning to look to the Lord. Again, this is during this time of ascent, and it begins with the shaking that I've got in red here. And the 144,000 will soon be sealed, and the children, the kids, will soon be raised as well. The second group, 144, related to first fruits of wheat. And the bride is ascending through this process, the process of the second Exodus. In this diagram, I have Satan falling at the time of second Passover, which is the time of the flood, which is symbolic of it, and I've talked about that before. This slide has changed a little bit, but not essentially. I believe that this is the year of the redeemed. this whole period. And I believe it begins in trumpets and ends in trumpets. It begins with the shaking of the 4 horsemen that are released at the 7th seal when the 4 winds begin to blow, which is the trumpet judgments as well. That's how I understand it. The seals have been released consecutively over 7 years, or 6 years, but at the 7th seal, the trumpet judgments come, and that's when the 144 come into effect. So this time of shaking and travail is this time period of the ascent of the bride, which is Zion. And she's going to be saved from the dragon. She's going to be saved from the flood, of the demonic flood that's coming upon the earth with the fall of Satan and his angels and the rise of the Nephilim. This is a time of shaking, but this is also the time of the redeemed. It is a time for the careless women of Zion, pictured in Isaiah 32. Verses 9 to 11, a time for Zion to get her heart right before the Lord, for the 7 churches to be ready. I believe one of the churches is already out of there, and that is Philadelphia. So, in any case, we are coming into this time period by hook or by crook very soon. It's necessary in order for Zion to truly be without spot or wrinkle. God's pouring out His Spirit at the same time as judgment is coming. All right, well, that's all for now. God bless and shalom.